What's up? What's up? What's up, my Mind Your Money business folks? It's me yet again with another video on today's stock market news. As I always say, hopefully you are already in the market and you're not trying to time the market because that's impossible today. I mean, not today, but to do. And right now, there are a lot of stocks still on sale. So hopefully you guys are having a blessed day. So it says here the S&P 500 closes higher for a fourth day in a row, notches a 4% gain for the week, which is a great thing, right? So it says here the S&P 500 rose on Friday, adding to its strong gains for the week as investors continue to navigate an evolving global trade landscape while major tech names got a boost. So the broad market benchmark ended 0.74% higher, while the NASDAQ added 1.2%, and the Dow Jones lagged but managed to close at 0.05% higher. So Alphabet rose 1.5% after the Google parent and the Magnificent name reported a beat on the top and the bottom lines for the quarter, which is a great thing, right? Tesla, meanwhile, popped 9.8%, while fellow mega cap names Nvidia and Meta advanced 4.3% and 2.7% respectively. And I'm invested in all of these companies. Hopefully you are too. All right, either way, the major indexes rose on the week, notching their second positive week out of three. The S&P 500 gained 4.6%, while the NASDAQ gained 6.7%. The Dow has underperformed, but still clinched a 1 week advance of 2.5%. That's good. With these latest gains, NASDAQ is now slightly positive for the month, but the S&P 500 is still down 1.5% month to date. And the Dow has also fallen 4.5% so far in April. So we got to get that back up. We got to invest, people. So China said Thursday that there were no talks with the U.S. on a potential trade deal. This came after the U.S. appeared to soften its stance on trade relations with China. So on Friday, Time magazine published comments from Trump that said he would consider it a total victory if the U.S. has high tariffs of 20% to 50% on foreign countries a year from now. But his Tuesday comments published Friday also said the president expects announcements on many deals to be coming over the next 3 to 4 weeks. So adding to the confusion, Trump told reporters from Air Force One that he would not drop tariffs on China unless they give us something. You got to give something. You got to give us something to get something, right? So I guess that's his stance. So still going forward, Jay Hetfield, founder and chief investment officer of InfraCap, is optimistic that the worst of the tariff-induced uncertainty is over. I hope that it's over because we need to go back to making money in the stock market. So the confusion about whether there's really talks going on with China or not took some steam out of the market, he told CNBC in an interview. Our view is that we've reached peak tariff tantrum. Yeah. And so it's likely to be more positive than negative. Exactly. I like his optimistic attitude, and that's why I continue to invest because I'm remaining optimistic. So Hatfield believes that the key driver for the markets next week will be the earnings from big hyperscaler firms such as Microsoft and Amazon, which I'm also invested. I'm invested in all of the mega cap, well, the Magnificent Seven: Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Nvidia, Tesla. There's two more. Did I say Nvidia? Did I say Meta? Did I say Amazon? Did I say Microsoft? Yeah, those. Either way, I'm invested, and I'm easily invested, even though I can't name them all right now. I'm invested in those companies through my S&P 500 ETF, SPLG, right? Because my S&P 500 ETF consists of the 500 largest companies in the United States, and those Magnificent Seven companies are a part of the S&P 500. So that's why I claim investing into all of those companies through my ETF. So yeah, So again, all three major indexes on Friday made some positives, right? The S&P 500 again added 0.74%. Nasdaq rose 1.26% for the week, and the Dow Jones 0.05%. I would take those gains because for the last couple months things have been really rocky. So I like where we're headed. Hopefully there are some talks. President Trump has seemed to somehow slow down on his raising of tariffs against China. So we'll see what happens. I'm optimistic. That's why I invest. That's why I got out of debt so I can control all my money. That's why I continue to dollar cost average into the stock market monthly. That's the reason why I have no personal loan debt. I have no credit card debt. I have no student loan debt. I have no auto loan debt. And then lastly, I have no mortgage. I paid everything off. I did it by listening to Dave Ramsey. I followed his debt snowball effect. I tweaked it a little bit, because not everybody does it the same way, but I got out of debt nonetheless back in 2021. So I'm able to give more money. I'm able to invest more money. And I'm able to sit back, create videos like these and talk about investing, because you have to invest in something. You have to. What a lot of people don't know is I'm former military. I'm retired military. I went through a lot in the military to retire. And so I have that retirement check coming in as well. So I have that. But when I think about it, I earned it, right? I did a year in Afghanistan. Being in the military wasn't easy, right? But I moved around the states. I've lived in other countries. I've experienced a lot. I've seen a lot. I've grown a lot. I was able to invest into real estate properties in different locations. I've sold a couple of properties. I kept two. I rent those out. But even back then, although I didn't really understand or knew what I was doing, I just followed my instincts, and I made great choices. But I also, during the time that I was in the military, I wasn't out creating a whole lot of personal debt. If I had a car, a lot of times I was always gone or deployed, so I rarely drove my car. So I ended up paying off every car that I had. And my latest car I bought before I retired, and I'm still driving it. It's paid off. Of course, I want to buy a new car, but I don't need a new car, right? And plus, I've been without a car payment for, man, how long has it been now? 9 years? Right. And back then, I paid off my car early. Yeah, I paid it off early, and so I haven't had a car payment in 9 years, and I really can't fathom having one now, even if it was $300 a month, right? So that's why I think if I do buy a car, again, I want to pay cash for it. And the type of car that I would like is going to cost a lot of money. Either way, it's something that I can think, I'm going to have to think about. Either way, here nor there, but through budgeting, listening to Dave Ramsey, and investing your money properly, it helped me a lot. Even though I had the real estate that I was renting out, I really didn't have a plan. I really didn't have any structure around what I was doing. And listening to Dave Ramsey gave me the structure that I needed to say, hey, why are you renting out these properties? Pay them off. Oh, you want to buy a bigger property that costs more money? Okay, sell two, because I ended up selling two. And I was able to put more money down on my last property that was built in December of 2018. And because I put so much money down, and then I took a job out of the country, so I left that home that I'd only lived in for 6 months, rented it out to someone that still rents it out till this day. I left that property in August or September, I think it was August of 2019. The person that rented it out back in 2019 still lives there till this day. And so I figured I will let that person rent it out, and then I will throw all my cash, my extra money, into paying it off a lot quicker. And in April of 2021, I paid it off. So I have, and then it has increased in value significantly. It's almost like, well, it hasn't doubled. No, it hasn't doubled, but it's increased at least maybe 20%, almost 20% in value, which is great, right? For the Northern Virginia area and the DMV area. So either way, so I was able to do that. And now I'm creating another plan, because that's what I'm noticing, and that's what I've realized, and that's what I've learned. You have to have a plan, because once you get this ball rolling, it's never going to stop. That snowball, you call it an avalanche, but in a more positive way, right? Because now that I have control over all my money, I have my emergency fund. Like Dave recommends, having 3 to 6 months of living expenses set aside that you don't touch, just in case an emergency happens. You have the money, but I have way more than that. And so now I'm creating another plan where I'm looking at buying another property, because I need the tax benefits. Because that's one thing, when you become debt free and you make pretty good money, and even my retirement check, that's something I had to learn after retiring. My retirement check is now added to my current paycheck, my current job's income, which pushes me in another tax bracket, which is something I didn't understand at first, because I just didn't know any better. But now I know. So my retirement income is added to my current income. And even though I pay taxes in both, but when they're added together, I have to pay more. I had to pay 5 figures in extra money. Yeah, this year. Yeah, 5 figures. 5. Not 4, but 5. But I'm not complaining, because I have the money, right? Because again, my emergency fund, I'm a good saver. I invest. I have rental properties. I have a good job. I still work for the government. So, even though I didn't like it, but I was blessed and I was grateful. I am grateful that I have the money to pay for it, because that's just the way the system is set up. The more money you make currently, the more you're gonna have to pay in taxes. If there's no other, not free, but other legal way for me to park my income, right? Unless I create a business, but then that business is that business that has nothing to do with my job, unless I quit my job. And I don't have any plans on quitting my job anytime soon. I like what I do. Actually, I love it, right? So, yeah. But that's just a little rundown of my situation, and the reason why I talk so confidently about the stock market. I don't mind the little views that I get, because even though I'm doing it to get views, and I appreciate the small views that I do get, but I'm actually doing this for me as well, because this helps me stay on top of the market. It keeps me up on things, and I'm just sharing it with you guys. But I am really doing this for me, even though I would love to help people. But most important, I would love to help people learn how to help themselves, because I can't give all of my energy out of just helping people, because that becomes tiresome. Because, yeah, that's just not a good way of being. So I'm just hoping that I could inspire other people to do better. But first, you have to create a plan, because I come from that place of lack and not having a lot and not understanding situations. And so my time in the military, and going through adversities, having a lot of ups and downs, a lot of ebbs and flows, a lot of disagreements, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. I sacrificed a lot. To get to this place of optimism. Been there, done that. Now I've been in the market long enough to where I understand the ups and the downs. And if I'm staying on top of the news and staying on top of the things that I'm investing in, I understand what's happening. So now, I keep my emotions in check. I dollar cost average into the market. I am not investing any money into the market that I cannot afford to lose, because I've gained a lot. Even if I lost everything today, if my account gets wiped out, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. That's how I think. That's how I choose to think. Because what you think about is, in my opinion, is what you get out of life. If you don't think much of it, if you think that investing is a waste of time, if you're thinking that it's robbery, if you think that if it's negative, if your thoughts are negative, then that's what you're going to experience and that's what you're going to encounter in life, right? But I've realized throughout my years, especially in the military and now, I've been optimistic. I haven't forgotten where I came from. I understand how you have to be grateful, how you have to have a strong belief system. You can falter sometimes, but you got to get back up, brush yourself off, and keep it moving, because life is going to continue on with or without your involvement. So I would rather ride the wave and be involved and create a comfortable place for myself by sitting back and feeling sorry for myself, watch other people be happy, and be happy is a job. Being happy is a job. Even though I smile a lot, some days I may smile, like when I make these videos, and when I turn that camera off, I'm like, I'm just tired. But you just have to, that's what you have to do. You know, and it's up to me to get myself out of a funky mood, because I am the one that's allowing it to affect my day or my time. And so that takes practice. It takes experience. It takes going through stuff, adversity. It takes sacrifice. Like, budgeting isn't easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Investing isn't easy. If it was, everyone would be doing it. So a lot of the trends and things that I see people doing may not be beneficial for them or to them, but a lot of people are doing what they do. They're on social media all day. They're commenting on things they know nothing a little about. They may read an article and think they understand the situation, and they form opinions, and they focus so much on things that has nothing to do with them. That's why I call this mind your money business. Mind your business. Focus on you. We all have enough issues and problems that we need to work on. So why express so much and provide opinions about people, situations, places, and things you really don't know 100% fact on. But what you do know about is that reflection that's given back to you in the mirror, what that current person's situation is, what that person's needs to improve on. So that's what I think people should focus on. But that's just my opinion. Everything on this channel, even though I read the news, I tell you guys to invest dollar cost average. That's just my opinion. I read the articles, and the articles sometimes states factual information of the stock market, and then it may give the opinions of other executives or the presidents of different countries, so on and so forth. So it's up to you as the individual, just like it's up to me, to make that final decision that's going to ultimately affect your life. But if you don't make any decision, then you're just going to have to take what's given to you, right? And what's given to you may be scraps. You may not want that. You may not like it. But what do you expect? Right, so I'm going to end this video here because, as you can see, I like to talk a lot. All right, so like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let me know what you think. If you think anything at all, think, people. Think. That's how you improve your life and your situation, by thinking. You know, like the older people used to say, get into your closet. You don't have to get into a physical closet, but your closet is this, you know, sit off by yourself. I don't know, think. I do believe that a lot of people don't think, they follow. They really are like sheep. They just do what everybody else is doing, but they don't think for themselves, because if they did, the situations wouldn't be as bad as they are. Not everyone, just some people, right? Especially those that complain all the time. Do you know, like, these complainers, they complain just to complain. Never, and then you tell them the solution and they complain anyway. Right. I call those energy vampires. All right, so yeah. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I pretending to be one, so please consult with a financial advisor before you invest any of your money into the stock market. Because any and all information on my channel is for entertainment purposes only, and it just expresses my opinion. So I'm going to end this video because I've been talking long enough. I'm about to go outside. It's sunny. As you can see, the sun's shining back there. The wind is blowing. It's like, yeah. I'm gonna go for a walk. Maybe walk to the beach, because I live like 8 minutes. I timed it. 8-minute walk from the beach. So you guys take care. Have a blessed day. Peace.